Hi there, my name is Alex Salick, and today we'll talk about persuasive registration and 3 social networks that achieve this. The first network we'll look at is Myspace.com. We'll follow this with High Five, and then we'll finish with Tag.com. These are 3 of the most powerful social networks on the internet today. The first network we'll look at is Myspace.com. When we go to the home page, we are immediately able to sign up and click the orange button. We are then taken to a simple page which has some basic information to fill out. This form employs tunneling and simplicity in order to convince the user to fill out the information. The next thing we notice is that at the bottom of the page the confirmation sequence is impossible to read. And this is simply irritating. No one wants to be troubled with confirmation sequence. So then we're taken to a photo page, and we're perturbed by the message that talks about pornography and violent images. Why are members doing this? And why are we joining a group of members that would do this? So we are quite scared there. The next thing we go to is an irritating form. It's got large boxes, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of work. So we're again irritated and wondering why they're asking for this information. We're finally taken to the home page, and we're excited because it says "Hello, Johnny," and we've already got ourselves our place on MySpace. Let's recap our emotional experience on this registration process. The first thing we noticed, we had 2 instances of irritation, 1 instance of fear, and finally a happy moment at the end. Now, let's move on and analyze High Five. In a similar manner, we go to the home page and click the Register Now button. Once we click the Register Now button, we're taken to a simple form which again tunnels you and uses simplicity in order to persuade you to fill out the information. Once we click the Register button on High Five, however, we are brought in with an error message. We didn't type enough characters for our password. Yet they didn't tell us that we needed to do this. This is oversimplification, and that is irritating. Again, we then move on and are asked to input our information from our email servers. And this is nice because we want to be able to add our friends, but they allow us to skip this step if we don't want to do it. That is good. We're immediately taken to the home page, and this is pretty amazing. It was very fast and seemed painless, so we're happy. But this is a little bit scary too. This was way too easy, and anyone could get on this website, so stalkers could be there too. To ratings, we had 1 irritation moment, 1 fear moment, and 2 moments of happiness. Alright, now let's move on to Tag.com, the final service we'll look at. We went to the home page and again hit the Join Now button. The form is unique this time, very simple, but it also has little pop-up windows which display Tag's expertise and help you fill out the form the way they want you to fill it out. The expertise guides you through the process and makes it an enjoyable experience as it has some humor. Then we're taken to the Yahoo Mail form, and we're irritated because it asks us for a password and doesn't allow us any other option. I didn't want to put in my Yahoo email password. We're then taken to a page that asks us to wait as they set up our account. They want us to fill out forms for other services. This is irritating. I didn't want to do this. They keep asking me for a lot of information, and I'm scared. Why do they want this much information from me? We're finally taken to the home page, and I'm very tired and exhausted. So, in summary, I am exhausted, annoyed, a bit scared, and have very faint memories of the joy I had initially from the pop-up windows. Now, let's conclude this presentation with a recap of the persuasive tools that we saw. We saw irritating persuasive tools, we saw scary persuasive tools, and we saw positive persuasive tools used. The irritating persuasive tools we saw were oversimplification, for example, with the form that I made errors in the password, and we also saw tunneling. Tunneling to the extent where we were filling in way too much information, and we were just irritated by it. Furthermore, tunneling causing us to give up our password because there's no other way to circumvent that page is also very irritating, but extraordinarily persuasive. The next thing we saw was scary persuasive tools. The scary persuasive tool that was used a lot was tunneling. When they ask us to provide so much information that it feels like they have an ulterior motive, we become scared. And the second is simplification. When it seems too easy, there's sort of a lowered barrier for entry, obviously to all users, and then the user base seems non-exclusive. And users do not like that feeling. The last thing we saw was positive persuasive tools. We saw personalization, like the Hello Johnny on the tagged website was great. The expertise on the tagged website with the pop-up windows helped us get through the registration process and also comforted us that we were doing the process right. The final thing we saw there was humor. And humor was a very powerful aspect in motivating us to continue, as it made the process more bearable. Ultimately, we had 3 sets of tools, and recapping irritating, scary, and positive persuasive tools. Hopefully you enjoyed this presentation. I look forward to your comments.